Alrighty, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Talk About Transformers. I'm your host, Sir Tacos, the monotone misfit myself, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Velocitron Speedia 500 collection Cosmos figure. I know I said that I was going to do Wheeljack, I believe, at the end of Blitzwing's review, and I really do love that figure, and I don't want to keep putting it off, but I got this guy in, and I just wanted to get a review done on him because he's really cool, and I thought that you guys would like to see it. So without any other delays, we'll go ahead and take a look at his box. We have the same kind of box that the Override came in. You've got the vehicle mode artwork there. Let me change up a little bit so I can have an easier time focusing. There we go. You've got the artwork there of Cosmos in his spacecraft mode, the gun attached to the side with the flag on it. As far as I found, it cannot attach like that. I just haven't found a way for it to attach that way. If any of you guys have found a way to attach it to the side of him like that with the flag in the back and whatnot, go ahead and leave it in the comments, but I have not. You got the Generations to Karatomi logos there, Velocitron 500 words. Again, right there, you've got the speed planet symbol, if I'm not mistaken. No one called me out on my box video, not that anyone really watched it, but you've got Cosmos in his robot mode with the Legacy branding, because this is a subspecies of the Legacy line, I guess. Autobot Cosmos with the Hasbro logo, and 8+ with Transformers going up the side. There you've got Cosmos again on this side with the Legacy logo again. On the other side you have the speed symbol, some Cybertronian type looking stuff, the Transformers Generations logo, and then just the rest of that Cosmos image from the front. On the back you have Autobot Cosmos from the Speedia collection. You have him in his robot mode and his saucer mode, 21 steps in between, and then just some words and recycle and barcodes and more of that, barcodes, words and recycles and stuff like that, and that's about it for the box. So we'll go ahead and lower the camera back down onto Cosmos here, and here he is in his saucer mode. We'll go ahead and take a look at him real quick. He's cast in this kind of like a light green, like a light military green sort of color that you would see in camo, and then you've got dark green paint on him with the silver stripe. This should have an Autobot symbol on it according to that box image, so if you've got a sticker, cut one in half and put it on there. It'll be on his feet in robot mode though. You've got nice blue paint here on the front with silver and a lighter shade of blue, and then some red paint for an Autobot symbol, red paint for the top of his head there, his little self-destruct button, and then you've got some yellow peeking through from the robot in there. You've got some green here for these little exhaust pipes. He's got some molded in guns, which are blast effect compatible. Not that I have my blast effects out anymore, I don't even remember where I put them. Look at me being professional. Here he is from the bottom. That's a whole lot of yellow on the bottom. You've got some painted yellow and some plastic yellow. And the painted yellow is as always, it's much easier to see on the camera, but in person it's not that bad. And in robot mode they're not really next to each other, so it's even less bad. That's about it for his saucer mode. It can't roll, there's no wheels, but it can whirly, birdly, hover around with those weird whirring noises that I'm not going to try to bother to make. And he comes with 2 accessories. Now the accessories started coming in these little paper packages here, so if you can't find your accessories, look for something that looks like this. At least in this Speedia line, I think something similar happened with Blitzwing, and I want to say that Masterpiece Blackout had a package like this, but so if you're not finding accessories in the box, look for this. It's not useless box filler, it is weapon containment. But he has 2 accessories. He has this, oh I dropped one. He has this little green gun here, cast in the same plastic as the rest of him. You've got some molding on there, no real hollowness to it, just some molded inlets. And you've got the little hole here and that hole is so that way you can plug the flag into it. You've got a nice white flag with a checkered pattern on the other side. So, and then this is a painted white flag. I know that because I have rubbing from where I'm putting it into the hole, and it's green underneath. So this whole thing is painted, and then they've got the black checkered on one side, and you can put that inside the gun here. And if we are to do what the box says, you'd either have to plug it in this way, and there's no space, there's no plugs. This can't like hook on to this or anything like that in these gaps. I've tried that. Or it would have to hook on this way with the flag on the other side, and again, nothing's really going to plug into that. There's no way for it to plug in on the side like that unless you plug it in down on one of these combat ports. But usually I just take it and I plug it into this port in the back above the flight stand hole for robot mode. I don't think he has a flight hole for saucer mode unless you get like up behind it in that hole there. But there you've got weapon storage for Cosmos if you want. And that's pretty much it for him. So we'll go ahead and start taking a look at some size comparisons, and we'll get into his transformation. Alright, starting off size comparisons, here we have him with the Kingdom Core Class Starscream for Core Class size. Here he is with the KO New Age slightly upscaled Legends figure, Starscream flavored. Here he is with fellow Deluxe class Ratchet from the Bumblebee Movie Studio Series line for a Deluxe comparison. Here we have him with the Voyager class. I want to say it's Siege Netflix. Either that or it was one of them like 35 Special Edition Sound Blaster in his Voyager Space Shape mode. And last but not least, here you have him with the Kingdom Megatron Leader Class mold in Jurassic Park colors for a Leader Class comparison. Alright, and that is it for the comparison, so we'll go ahead and start transforming him. His arms aren't tabbed in per se, but there is this little locking tab that is going to come loose here, and they are actually tabbed in to this yellow panel. You've got this slot here. Focus, and the big old tab. So go ahead and untab those and rotate down and out, just so that way they're out of the way. Same thing on this side. We're going to unlock that in a downward outward motion. Pull it down, fold it out. At this point you can go ahead and fold his hands out, leaving his big old hollow forearms, but that's okay. Hands out. And then for this part, what we're going to do is we're going to fold these yellow flaps up. There's a tab and a slot here. Fold it up on both sides. And then what I like to do to help get this the hips past these sections here is this part angles back, and I angle the hips with it. So angle that back, and the hips are angled with it, and then you can actually just pull the hips out a lot easier than if you're trying to force them out past those. Rotate the legs down, and then on the front of the hip you've got this tab here on my thumb. It's going to clip into that, so keep rotating the legs. We'll go ahead and push that in. There is his waist together. We'll go ahead and finish off his legs. So go ahead and separate them, angle them slightly so that way you can rotate them back. Angle it slightly so you can rotate it back. Go ahead and fold this section around, and it is going to clip around this tab right here. So you're just going to clip it, have a little pop, fold it around, clip it. Now you have his legs all done. What we're going to do now is this yellow section here is on a slider. So we're going to shimmy that out and then rotate this whole section around 180 degrees. This back panel will fold in, and these tabs will go into these gaps here. So you can go ahead and give them a squeeze. Make sure they're secure. Then this tab here is going to go into this slot here. So we'll fold that forward. And then you've got these yellow struts that the arms are on. They're going to fold over and clip around this tab I was trying to plug the gun into earlier. Clip. Clip. And we can fold his side skirts down, could have done that earlier. And then go ahead and fold his arms down, kind of get him less orange slice, more dynamic. And then for his head, this would not fold around in vehicle mode all the way until this yellow thing was out on its sliding rail. Then you can fold his head around for the dramatic head reveal, and there you have Cosmos in his robot mode. So we'll go ahead and take a look at his details here. Just got to remember to brake for the transition. Right there you've got him. Got some loose hairs on him. I have pets and the hair is not included. My favorite pets are the ones without hair, aka my pythons. But there you have it. His whole head, I want to say, is painted. The red is painted. The yellow is definitely the same paint as the arm, and the blue is this light blue paint again, I think. And it's painted over that yellow plastic. I don't know if you can see down under there. Or no. That's the ball joint that is attached to. That's yellow. Maybe the red isn't painted. But it looks, can't tell if the red's bleeding over the yellow or if the yellow's bleeding into the red. Either way, time will tell. If there's chipping on the red, then it is painted. Either way, coming down the chest, you've got the same details that you had in the vehicle mode, with the underside of the arms being the underside of the saucer. I've got some little pink wear there. I want to say he had that from the beginning, but it didn't bother me. I was happy to have found him. You've got the waist there. You've got yellow on these hip skirts, and then he's just got green there in the middle. The legs have lots of nice detail, but they are kind of washed out on the camera. In person, it's a lot easier to see them. But there's lots of molded detail there. You've got a port here on the leg, with the port on the side of the arm. Down on the feet, they are the front of the saucer. So like I said, if you cut an Autobot symbol in half and put it on the saucer, he'll have two half symbols on his feet and one on his chest. Coming up the side, you even got some details on the inside of these panels that folded open, so it's not just flat plastic, which is nice. And then you've got your dark green paint and your lighter green plastic. These guns here are supposed to be these, and they're just hanging out on his shoulders, but that's fine. It's a $20 Deluxe class figure. It's not hurting anybody. And then there's his backpack. I think I've seen at least one person complain about this backpack. I don't mind it. I actually think it looks kind of cool. Kind of finned up like that. It kind of a little bit gives me Age of Extinction Scorn vibes with the two things jutting out. Like I said, I don't mind it. And there you've got the port for the weapon storage I used in the saucer mode, plus that stand hole. Speaking of his accessories, you can just bop them in there. So he's got them on his back. You can have them this way, this way, this way, whichever way you want. So we'll go ahead and leave those there for now. And we'll show off some articulation. He does have that ball joint I showed earlier, so you can get a full 360 on the head. He can do tilts in directions. Down is a good amount down. Up, it's not that great, but side to side he's got a good range. And then if you want to, you can kind of tilt his chest with it to get the range that you want. Hopefully you've got the full 360 here at the shoulder, plus you've got outward movement a little over 90 degrees at the shoulder. You do have 90 degrees at this elbow, with the mushroom peg providing your rotation. No movement on the hands except for inward movement for transformation. For the waist, he does have a 360 degree waist swivel. The hip skirts are rubbing up, oh, let me take this off, I popped it off anyway. The hip skirts are rubbing up against this yellow section here, as you can see, but it is doing it. And then you've got the hip skirts moving out for your full outward movement, and then he is underhindered backward and forward for that movement. You do have the thigh swivel cut here at the middle of the thigh. You do have a knee bend that is basically 90 degrees. Then you've got the ankle tilt. It's not the biggest ankle tilt, but it's a decent ankle tilt. Nothing forward and back, and no ankle rotation, but that is fine. So let's go ahead and zoom him back out and get him looking back to somewhat normal. There you can see him in all of his glory from each side. And then his weapon can either be a gun, so that way he can pew-pew the people with his little pew-pew gun, or as it's intended, it is a little flag, because the Speedia collection is apparently racing with a crane, and so he's the official. He's gonna tell you who wins. He's gonna wave his little flag, and he's definitely got the arm motion for that. Just needs the wrist turn to get the motion fully. You could animate a pretty good flag wave out of that probably. But there you have him in his robot mode. So we'll go ahead and take a look at some comparisons with some other bots, and then we'll go ahead and get into my final thoughts on the figure. Alright, starting off our size comparisons, here we have him with Legacy Core Class Skywarp, same figure as the Starscream, but Skywarp flavors. Alright, second verse, same as the first. Here we have the New Age knockoff Legends sized Skywarp flavor. Here he is with another Deluxe class figure. We've got the Bumblebee Movie Studio Series Ironhide here. So he is definitely taller than Cosmos, but Cosmos is a big, shapy, round boy, and that is okay. For your Voyager class comparison, here you have him with the Netflix Soundwave, the tape deck version. Basically the same robot shape and size as Soundwave or Sound Blaster in their space shapes, but as a robot. And last but not least, for robot mode comparison, here you have him with the Leader class Beast Wars Megatron mold. This time it is actually Megatron himself. There you go for that. Alright, and that is pretty much going to do it for your Velocitron Cosmos review. He is hard to find, as I come to understand it. I actually ended up finding two of them and selling one off at a very reasonable price to a lovely gentleman, and he was very happy with that. But other than the fact that he is hard to find, I would say grab him if you see him. He's definitely worth it. It's a fun transformation. It is a cool looking robot. The spaceship is actually a spaceship for once, and it's actually pretty cool. He poses really well, apart from maybe a wrist swivel. It would have been nice to see a wrist swivel, but definitely not a game changer. And I think that the flag accessory is kind of a fun thing for Cosmos to have, personally, so that way, you know, he's not a race car. What's he doing in this racing line? Well, he's the official. He's got the flag. Not really sure what the green grapple is, like helping clear the track maybe. There's a wreck, I don't know. It would make more sense to be like a tow truck, like dropping the name. I don't have the figure. He's like the green tow truck is an Earthrise waveform. You know who I'm talking about. I don't know who I'm talking about because I don't know his name, but you know who I'm talking about. And that will pretty much do it for Cosmos. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Talk About Transformers. Go ahead and give me a like and subscribe if you feel so inclined, and I will see you guys in the next episode. In the next episode, will Wheeljack finally get his due? No, he won't. There's a line.